What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Knackers, and today is Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. Then this is episode number 164, even though I had 165 in the podcast. Today on the show, we've got the MiddleAgedStream, who is returning, as always, unfortunately. And then we also have CharmedBaryon. Am I saying it right? Because I've said it wrong for years.
Baryon.
Thank you. Yes. I will forever remember, because every time I go to say it out loud, I'm like, Charmed. What's up, Charmed?
you can just look it up on Wikipedia. I actually have an article. It's a physics term. That's the joke. But, there's actually a CharmedBaryon Wikipedia article.
No shit. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to throw that in links, which just reminded me, I did not edit the chatbot link, so I'm gonna do that while Jimmy fills the air. Jimmy, how you doing today, bud?
I'm good, man. Drinking a fancy glass of the finest Cabernet boxed wine, and just trying to get over my sports ball team losing their game today to the Seattle Seahawks. So, or as I like to refer to them as the Seattle Seacocks,
or the Suckhawks.
But they beat my beloved 49ers, and now I'm sad. And I lost $40. Because I gambled on the game. I was so confident they were going to win. But, like, dude, I know you're not really into sports ball, but their kicker in pregame warm-ups pulled their groin. So, like, their punter had to do all the kicking and, like, missed a field goal, missed an extra point, which you can't blame the guy. He's the fucking punter, you know? Anyway, so that happens.
Hold on.
Is
it common for the kicker and the punter to be two different people?
Yes.
What?
In the NFL, for sure. Yes. It's totally two different types of kicks, man.
Okay, insert ninja tweet here. I don't understand how kickers just miss kicks. All you do is kick the ball. I did not know that.
Kick a freaking football.
It's very difficult, apparently, seeing as how often people miss. Except if you're the dude who was playing against the Detroit Lions last week, who kicked a record fucking field goal while hitting the post.
These TikToks of people like just absolutely like these Detroit fans watching it in the living room, and someone was filming. And you could like see the moment when their soul just leaves their body, like as like that moment of hope as it hits the crossbar, and then it doinks over, and they're just like, oh. That's why you gotta love sports, man. Gotta love sports, shit like that. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me. I'm sad. I'm having some sad boy wine, but I got two cool bros I'm hanging with tonight, so I'll probably feel better when we're done at the end of this podcast. So it's all good.
Good shit. Are you in any sports ball there, Charmed?
No. When I was a kid, I was really into basketball because I grew up in Indiana. Everyone, that's like, football to a Texan is basketball to a Hoosier. Then got into like bouldering. So I'll actually watch bouldering competitions occasionally, but that's it. And I think if you're not into rock climbing, it's probably incredibly boring to watch that.
So I'm definitely one of those people on the outside where I watch competitive rock climbing and I don't understand.
There's like three different sub sports, and I think the bouldering is the only one that interests me. The way they do the sport climbing competition is they just have a single route set up and they just repeatedly try to climb it. And it's like incredibly boring to watch someone just do the same thing again and again and again. Whereas at least with the bouldering, they set up like 5 different really difficult routes, and they just send you like one try each one. And then they got the speed climbing, which is just, I don't know, that's just kind of bonkers to watch.
That's pretty insane. The bouldering is always, it gets exciting because there's always that one part of the boulder where you have to like launch yourself up and reach and grab like one point, and like every single person that's doing it is just failing over and over, and that's always kind of like that's like the
much more acrobatic
goal.
I think that's why it's so much more interesting to watch than the slower ones.
The strength that, are you okay there, Jimmy?
I don't know why, but I was just reminded when you were talking about bouldering, I was something in my brain just like clicked, And I thought of this news article I saw today, and I was thinking of those Mormon kids doing this thing called soaking. You know what I'm talking about?
Is this like
Okay, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm just going to say I will put the link in chat, and you can
Jankum?
see for yourself. It's the Urban Dictionary what the act of soaking is. I'm gonna put it in chat. You can decide whether you want to read it or not.
Love how you
Okay.
save this for my chat.
And so like what you like, if you're not really sure, like there's been like YouTube videos of it and everything. So I guess if you're not thrusting, it doesn't count as sex. So it's called soaking. And then you can have like friends who are there who like move the people around. They're supposed to have like really boring conversations while they do it. So they're not I don't know. Soaking is a premarital sex thing for Mormons that I'm sorry. You were said bouldering. I'm sorry that we had to bring this up, but that's why I was giggling over here because I couldn't believe that was actually a thing. But apparently it is.
I regret to inform you that in no world, you know those Wikipedia speedrunners that they're like, okay, I'm gonna go from Toy Story to Christina Aguilera in 30 seconds. There is no fucking way that you can link bouldering to soaking. I think you've just had soaking on your mind.
The actions at all.
Right,
it's
okay.
Just the word bouldering, for whatever reason, made soaking trigger in my brain. It was maybe
you were
ing.
lying in wait for any word with ing.
I think I might have been. Honestly, I
jump to
swear
that.
this was not pre-planned. It just triggered in my brain. That's why I started laughing uncontrollably over here a second ago, because it's just so fucking weird. It's weird. Anyway,
I don't even know where to go from that. So anyway,
bouldering, mountains, Utah. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, that's where we were going.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite parts of the podcast when we have a new guest on is how did we meet? And I always like explaining kind of how we met. Now the version of how we met in Jimmy's world is much different to how me and Charmed actually met in real life. So we had actually went to Little Italy in San Diego for TwitchCon 2019. And again,
San Diego. Where's that?
Did I say Stan?
Sounded like it.
Sorry, San. I think there was some saliva that clicked and then created a consonant.
It's
I'm sorry.
I was curious.
But we were going out to lunch with Gray, Pirate Grayson, who I've known for a long time, and then Charmed. Was it you hanging out with Gray at that particular time?
I was hanging out with Activate Angel, who was also hanging out with Gray. So
That's right.
I had met Gray through Activate Angel at TwitchCon 2019 as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Activate Angel, another fantastic person and creator, amazing artist. She's the one who did my sub badges. And so we got
emotes as well.
Oh, did she really? Hell yeah. She's awesome. And so, yeah, we went to Little Italy. We were looking for an Italian restaurant. And again, this is somebody who didn't know that Little Italy existed in cities in the same way that Chinatown exists. Just didn't know it was a thing. And us fucking scooter kids rolled up to Little Italy like 10 deep on electric scooters. And we found this Italian restaurant in the back of a market. And it was a fantastic lunch. But that's where I met Charmed. And we had a fantastic time together. Now, the version of how I met Charmed in Jimmy's world, Jimmy, if you want to go and explain how we all met.
I remember telling Knackers about this cool Skyrim streamer that raided my channel. And a pretty cool dude. I went and checked out his stream. Pretty funny. Got a lot of dad jokes, a lot of clever things that he does, like visually. And then he went to proceed to tell me that he'd been telling me about this guy for so long. And I'm like, sure you were. I don't believe that at all. I think I would remember if he had hyped you up the way he thinks he hyped you up in his head. I just had to remind him of how cool of a guy you really are to get you back on the show is really like what we were going for here. So you could really thank me.
The funny
Knackers,
thing is,
anything?
I rated you because after TwitchCon 2019, I'd been checking out Knacker's channel and I had seen you there. So when you were, I think at the time I rated you, you were streaming Skyrim. So I saw you in the directory afterwards. Like, well, I know that person. I've seen them on Rocks and Hot Pocket podcast. So that's why I rated you. So it kind of came full circle.
That is funny, man. That is Twitch is so weird. And I'm excited actually to get into some Skyrim in the future after they drop the Skyrim Remaster XXL in November.
I cannot believe that they did it again.
Hey, dude, I want to take advantage of my new console and get the remaster. Why not?
Wait,
You know?
can you not play the previous version on your new console?
I can, but I think you got to pay for the premium upgrade for like the newer textures and frames and like you can play it now at a higher like frame rate and stuff on the Series X. Like you can play it at 60, but I want to get like the 4K texture upgrades and not have to download a bunch of mods to do it. I'd rather have mods for other stuff, you know.
I was about to say, how are you going to sit here in front of Mod God, Skyrim
No,
Mod God?
You guys are mod gods. That's not the way I enjoy. I don't need that much modification. Although I do like that they included mods on consoles this last generation because you don't have the same ability like you would on PC to load near as many. But it's for someone like me who's like a kind of a plebe when it comes to modding. It's like perfect, you know. It's perfect to dip your toes in, and it's fairly easy to figure out what the load order needs to be because there's so many people that make posts about it. And I don't know. I am looking for. That's why I stopped that playthrough when I found out that they were going to do that, and I was like, well, "Fuck! I'm just going to wait for the remaster, and I'll just buy Skyrim for the third time, or fourth time, whatever." However many times
if you have special edition, if that's the version we're playing, then you just get that automatically.
Well, then perfect. Then I'll get it.
Yeah,
for
you don't
free.
have to pay anything.
Good. Well, then that's the good to know.
Very generous of Todd Howard not to make you buy it for the 7th time.
Considering I just bought it like again. For the
you know, everyone would. Everyone would have bought it.
I know everyone would, including myself. I was resigned to buying it anyway. So,
in the same way that you relate soaking to bouldering, there is so many times throughout the day where I'll see an arrow, like I'll see a picture of an arrow on Google Images, and I'm like, man, I should start another Skyrim playthrough. Like the smallest little things will just trigger like, shit, I should go and play Skyrim again. That game's so fucking good. Charmed, I don't know if you still feel that way because you are playing it. I've never seen anybody play a game as much as you've played Skyrim, dude.
But he keeps it honestly, so fresh and unique because with everything you've got, and I'm sorry I have to interject this. I lurk mostly in your stream, but I was there lurking today. One of the things that I'm always so impressed with about your stream is the way you find ways to create new challenges and fun in a game that's been out for so long and has been streamed by so many different people, and yet you continue to have great success streaming it and playing it. And that's a testament to all the cool mods and things that you do in your stream. If you guys haven't watched this, CharmedBaryon, twitch.tv. Okay, Charmed, I give you your plug. You can send me we had our agreement. Okay, so send me after the stream. Okay.
No soaking is part of that agreement.
No soaking was part of it.
Yeah, so Charmed, if you want to take a quick second just to kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do, because I think that you have like one of the most fascinating broadcasts that I've ever seen. So please tell yourself.
Yeah. So I'm a partnered Twitch streamer, and I focus mainly on Elder Scrolls based content. I got my start actually modeling it in a way off of a previous Skyrim streamer. Someone actually just came back named Draco, who did really incredible interactive content. He did things like betting on the outcomes of what was going to happen in the quest. This is long before Twitch had predictions and things like that. So I wanted to have that kind of interactive content, but the truth be told, Skyrim is actually not my favorite Elder Scrolls game. I actually started with Morrowind and expanded into Oblivion, and then eventually got to Skyrim. So my content was really taking that kind of idea and applying it to Morrowind originally.
Wow.
But kind of the way that I have always approached the channel is I don't even think of it as a video game stream. I think of it as an entertainment product. So I'm putting on a show just like any kind of comedy show you might watch on television. And I just happen to use Skyrim to produce much of that content. And to facilitate that, I also do a lot of modding of Skyrim to customize it to that purpose. And it's very heavily customized to the point that I can't really play a non-Elder Scrolls game very much for my stream because there's just no way to integrate it into the style that I have. There's just kind of a unique way of combining the content of the game with kind of the fourth wall breaking content as well. So the jokes like that I make just as a streamer kind of bleed into the game and vice versa. So like we have the crab meme, but then the crabs in the game also are swearing when you hit them, and they wear like top hats and stuff like that. So the memes kind of blend between them, and I think that's kind of the unique content. So yeah, I would say that's kind of where I've gone, and as I've gone forward recently, it's moved a bit more towards kind of educational content as well, as I've been doing a lot of novel modding for Skyrim. I have a lot of projects now building like a new mod pack for Skyrim that's very, very large, that's going to do some very different takes on the way in which it mods the game, and I'm building new SKSE plugins. So for anyone who knows Skyrim, that's basically a way for you to hook into the game engine and do stuff that Bethesda never thought you were supposed to be doing. It's going to enable entirely new types of modding to be done. So not only is that just great for the Skyrim community as a whole, but I think it's very interesting to kind of cover with the channel like what's going on there and what it's enabling and how I'm using it to make the stream more interesting. And so going forward, there's I think we're going to see a lot more of that kind of educational content, maybe coding streams and things of that nature, not replacing the previous content, but as a supplement to it.
That also sounds like a perfect way to transition to another game or another kind of environment, right? Is through the modding process, through the educational content. It was like, okay, if there was ever a time where I needed to move along, I could kind of transform what I'm doing now and apply it to a different game. But holy shit, I don't think there's ever been a game that has done it. The replayability of that game is unlike any other game. I mean, it rivals MMOs, and it's not even an MMO.
Yeah, and I think one of the wonderful things about being a Skyrim streamer or an Elder Scrolls streamer in general is it's almost expected by the viewership that you're going to be modding your game. And everyone's going to create something that's entirely custom to them. So that is in and of itself a way to kind of express yourself through the way in which you have altered the game. Everyone makes their own Skyrim. Skyrim is like a build your own game system more than it is just a game at this point.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
It's just really a way to show off, like, just what kind of game do you want to make? Like, do you want a game that's going to be super challenging, that's going to be like really fast time to kill? You want to explore like entirely new game mechanics, or there's stuff like mine where I add in huge numbers of enemies. I'll do battles with like 70 bandits trying to kill me at once. And then there's other people who go the opposite route, and they maybe only have like 3 or 4 enemies, but the combat will be like super complex and involved, making like each one of those battles more difficult and more interesting. And so it's just whatever you want, whatever you can imagine, you can make Skyrim into that.
Wow. Is there, now for people who are interested in that type of gameplay, but not necessarily all of the work put behind it, what is the barrier to entry in 2021 for Skyrim modding? Is it still as big of a pain in the ass as it was 3 or 4 years ago, or has it become easier?
It's much easier. And
I was able to figure it out. Just saying.
That's saying a
that
lot.
Doesn't tell you something, okay?
It's not just that it's easier to install mods. It's really been the advent of mod packs. And so one of the long-term projects I've been doing is creating a mod pack called Skyrim NG. So essentially the massive mod list I have built for Skyrim for my stream, you can actually install that yourself. And it's not quite like a one-click process, but it's pretty close to it. And people who make these mod packs, they use a tool called Wabbajack. And Wabbajack essentially is like creating a recipe to reproduce someone else's mod list. So you don't redistribute someone else's mods. There's all sorts of licensing issues with that. But it will like go out to the modding websites and download those same mods. It will install them in the same order. It can include built-in patches. So any patches that you make to your content will be redistributed to them.
Yes.
The generated content, if you're going to generate new like LOD files, so, level of detail files, that can be bundled into it as well. So in the end, what they get will be exactly the mod list that someone else produced. And there are a lot of people who are building very high quality Wabbajack mod lists. Anyone can build them, anyone can distribute them. But the Wabbajack team has a curated list of the highest quality ones that people put in huge amounts of labor into this. I've been working on Skyrim NG for over a year now, and I don't think I'm even that close to releasing it. These people do it all for free, right? That's just a labor of love, and they put in tons and tons of effort to make a very well-tested, very stable mod pack. And you have your choice of, a couple dozen of these for Skyrim. It's not just Skyrim. You can get this for Morrowind, for Oblivion, for Fallout. I think they even support like Stardew now, so you can get all sorts of weird games.
Wow.
And yeah, you can just get a pre-made mod list that's going to be very professional and very smooth.
Don't let my girlfriend hear you say mods for Stardew Valley. She'll go batshit crazy.
Well,
but yeah, it's really brought complex, big mod lists to the masses. And one of the other great streamers out there in Skyrim, Baryon, is a friend of my channel as well. He only does Skyrim content. Well, he does other content too, but when he does Skyrim content, he pretty much only does testing these mod packs. So like that's his content, is showing people these and like reviewing them and getting a demonstration of what it's like, so other people can go out and figure out what they want to download. And so that's an entirely different type of content that you can do in the Skyrim category, is reviewing these mod packs.
I got to take a quick pause because what you are illustrating right now is the invisible step that gaming streamers need to take in order to have a chance on this platform, right? Is taking the base content, which is you and the video game, and then creating a interesting, entertaining, interactive ecosystem or like an atmosphere that sets you, not that it sets you apart, but it just gives you a better chance at being noticeable.
Set you apart.
It does
set you apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does. Absolutely. Go.
There's no chance, I think, of anyone. I shouldn't say there's no chance. It's like a 1 in a million chance that you can just sit down and play a game and just have the fact that you're playing a game be Twitch content at this point.
No.
You have to do something with it. You have to go into this expecting that you are producing a show. And you have to figure out what that show is going to be and whether there is actually a market need for it. I think the most frustrating thing for me is when I hear people saying things like, they're just doing like, I don't know, Rainbow Six Siege, and they're saying, well, it's too saturated, it's not discoverable. And I really hate that, because it's such a passive way of looking at it. It's putting all the agency on someone else instead of what does the market need? Like, what kind of content do I think people want to watch that is not there? If you were in a city that had 20 coffee shops in every single square block of that city, and you opened up another coffee shop and the coffee shop failed, you wouldn't be asking yourself like, oh, is it just that it's too saturated? The real question is, why did you even open up a coffee shop in the first place when obviously there's no need for it? You're not providing any marginal utility to anyone that way. There might be no pizza shops in this entire city. That would be your way to, get some success. And then the next thing that drives me crazy is the way that people talk about this then is you need to do it someplace else and bring them over to Twitch, which is, to me, that's like, okay, I went and I opened the pizza shop and I got success, but now I'm just going to try to bring those people over to my coffee shop. It's like, no, stop going back to the coffee shop. Like, stop. Like, what is it with you and coffee that you have to keep focusing on that? Like, focus on the new and the interesting
I'll
thing.
say it like this. I don't think, and I think in that analogy, while it is funny, I'll say it like this. I think in 2021, if you're new to the platform, less than a year streaming, you probably need some type of outside influence to help generate viewership, unless you're in a category that you're have a decent viewership in. You have to find a niche, because otherwise it's very, very difficult. Now, I don't see that as necessarily another business. I see that more as like advertising in a way. I mean, you've got to find ways to generate that. It didn't used to be that way on Twitch, because Twitch had far fewer streamers. Now there's a shit ton of streamers on Twitch now, and many ones that are always active. So it's like there's a I don't want to call it like a fight for viewership, but if you're in a category that has, hundreds of streamers in it and you're streaming for only a couple because you just started, it's going to be pretty hard to make any headway unless you have outside influence.
Right.
I kind of lucked out in that I started with Morrowind, and I think it wasn't really a brilliant plan on my part. It's just what I wanted to do, and it happened to be very good because that category usually has like 5 to 10 channels. So no matter what, you are visible without someone scrolling down at all through the viewer list right off the bat. And most of the people playing it, because it's an older game, it's just someone who like wants to do a playthrough one-off of a game they heard about in the past. So it's very vanilla. The graphics aren't that great. So if you do what I did and you mod it very heavily, you get beautiful graphical updated Morrowind. You immediately stand out in those thumbnails. Mm-hmm. So I got affiliate on my 7th stream, which was the fastest that you can do it with the Twitch rules. Because I just basically got the entire viewership of the Morrowind category. Now that entire viewership is like 15 people, right? So you're not
That's more than enough for affiliate, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're getting 15 people, you're already, you're like in the top 1% of Twitch right there. And then it's like, okay, now I'm going to do some Oblivion. In Oblivion, now there's like 20 to 30 streams, and there's like 100 people viewing it. But you're starting out with 15, so now you're up near the top of that list in Oblivion, and you grow to like 20, 25, 30 average viewers, and then you go to Skyrim, and there's just a natural progression through all these games because they're just like they're the same basic game, right? They're just newer versions of each, and now you're starting out in Skyrim, and you've got like 30 average viewers, and you're in like the top 5 streams right from the get-go. If you just start in Skyrim. Skyrim is big enough. It's not a huge category by any means, but it's big enough.
It's big enough.
There can be 60 channels, and you're gonna have to scroll down through like 3 pages to see you when you're starting out at 0. Yeah. So I think that's the key. Is you need to find a small niche, not a micro niche. There's games that only have like 2 viewers, right? That's obviously too little. But if you find a game that has like 20 viewers and you start out there and you do something that is actually novel and interesting with it instead of just playing the game. Right. I think you have a chance to be discovered.
Oh, without a doubt. And I'm not saying it's necessary to have to go outside of Twitch. It's just a lot harder now growing than it ever used to be, And it's funny you even mentioned the affiliate program too. It's like, shoot, Knackers and I have been streaming so long. Affiliate was just like, here you go as soon as it started because we had already long before met the goals for affiliate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And obviously, it took a lot longer for, you had a great plan. You had a really great plan, and that's something I don't think a lot of people have. I didn't have a great plan. I was just kind of trying to play what I felt like playing.
It just happened to work out, I think. But looking back at it, it's kind of obvious why it did work out for me because of that. Because I wasn't going to go over. I did have a YouTube channel before. But it was dead for like 3 years. And I did think I got like 2 viewers my first day who remembered me from that. They're just like, hey, I happened to see you because I followed you. Like I started with 15 followers before I ever streamed because people had followed me way back in the day. I've been telling people for like years in advance, I'm going to stream someday. Someday it's going to happen. But yeah, I didn't really use YouTube to advance the stream. It was just all on Twitch.
Yeah.
So I've kind of always disagreed with the idea that you can't grow on Twitch. Obviously, it doesn't mean you shouldn't also use other means
it's
to
just
grow.
A lot more difficult. It's just a lot more difficult. I agree with you. I don't think it's impossible, but I think in this day and age now, I think even more so, exponentially more difficult than when you started streaming, and even more so than when Knacker started and I started streaming, which is, a year or 2 before that. So I just feel like it's weird. It actually this might be a good segue into some of your Twitch topics if you want to go there, Knackers.
Yeah, the last thing that I wanted to touch on was the kind of like the secret potion to what Charmed was able to accomplish was that the percentage of people on Twitch who like want to make this a successful thing, like want to build something, they don't want to be transformative, right? Like they just want to have high viewership playing games. The percentage of broadcasters who will make it because they can find a niche within their game, right? So like like to your Rainbow Six Siege part earlier. If you're starting playing Rainbow Six Siege right now, yeah, it's probably going to doink really fucking hard. But if you're somebody who is insanely passionate about map design and levolution, right? And team balancing, right? And you spend all of your streams maybe like half playing Rainbow Six Siege and then the other half doing map analysts, bringing on people who design maps. And it's like, but the percentage of people who are actually passionate about that is so small compared to the amount of people that just want to play Rainbow Six Siege on stream. And so whenever you hear somebody that's giving Twitch advice like, hey, you got to find a way to stand out, the truth of that statement is that a very small percentage of you actually have the capacity to stand out because you don't enjoy anything past just playing the video game.
Yeah, the vast majority of streamers, I think, they start with the position that viewers are there to give something to them, that they're there to come and give them what they want, which is the ability to just play games and hang out with people and maybe make money as well, instead of thinking, what is it that the viewers need and how am I going to provide them with something?
Yes.
You have a product. You're trying to sell a product to people.
So
100%. 100%. And I think if more streamers had that mindset, I think that we would probably see a lot less of the BS and drama on Twitch. But the reality is that's one of the beauties of Twitch, and also a curse, because it is literally never been easier to stream on Twitch or other platforms. And that also with it, one of the negatives is having real idiots on said platform. So, you know, it's good and bad, you know.
Yep.
Barrier for entry is low, but boy, it is disheartening sometimes because I don't often go out of my way to look for new streams now. Usually content just finds a way of reaching me, you know, and I don't actively look for it on Twitch. Part of it being because Twitch's discoverability tools are fucking shite compared to a lot of other platforms. Anyway, but the last few times I have gone searching in like lower viewer, like 5 or less, I've just really been disappointed most of the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I'm just like, well, it's rare for me to like go in and find like, because that happened to me before years ago. I used to go in and I'd see a streamer that had like 3 to 5 streams and you know, it's rare to find that nowadays, like just randomly, you know.
Right.
I just don't see it that often.
I suspect there's still just as many people. The problem is that the number of other people who are just doing the laziest stuff has gone up so much.
It's harder to find those gems because of all the just rote same bullshit that's yeah.
I feel like the way I discover good streamers now is, you know, I know people like you and Knackers and the other friends that I've made in Twitch, you know, that are high quality. I just end up finding them through them.
Yep.
Right? Eventually, I think all of the kind of high quality people, the people that are doing the, you know, like I said, trying to make a product and sell it, eventually they reach you through all the other people doing that. I think there's a lot of mutual respect on Twitch among the people that are doing that. You know, when I see anyone else, this is why, like, when I first rated you, Jimbo's, like, I was like, this is exactly the kind of content that I like making too. It's like very high production quality, a lot of effort. Like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna like raid this person again. I'm gonna follow them. So that's what I want to see. I just want to see other people making cool stuff too. One of the kind of side projects that I have is I actually founded a company, Color Glass Studios, which I haven't really done anything with now, but I really want that to go to. Is I'm trying to think about, you know, in the future, if I don't really want to stream anymore, eventually, you know, everybody kind of stops. What would be kind of the end goal for what I've been doing all this time? And what I'd really like to do is just kind of provide free consulting services to people to bring that high production value. And this would be something that I would just offer to people that I think have that potential, just free advice, free assistance, and trying to take things to the next level. Because I just want to see people make cool stuff.
Yep. One thing that you said too that kind of ties into a conversation Jimmy and I had, just there is like a certain privilege of viewership that happens when you hit a certain number to where like you just having higher numbers automatically attracts other people. One of the other things that happens when you become a well-seasoned like veteran broadcaster is word of mouth starts to happen a lot more often, to where the people that like you and respect you will nonchalantly bring up your name in conversation because they genuinely enjoy your content and what you're doing, because you're doing something awesome and special. And that's another thing that just like once you start hitting certain numbers, those are just things that kind of buff you up, right? Like there's to me on Twitch, I always see people that sit around like the 30 to 40 viewer mark, right? And then they start to hit that snowball effect of all of those other factors that come into like the partner numbers. And then you just see them go bup, 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 bup. And then you see them 80, 90, 100 average often. And that's just kind of one of those factors that goes in there as well.
That was the biggest wall to break for me, was the 30 wall.
Yep, same here.
It took me years. It wasn't until a little over a year ago to break through that wall.
I think that's normal. It always seems to come in spurts, right? Like you hit a certain point and then you kind of plateau for a little bit, but then all of a sudden, I think it's exactly what you're talking about. Like you get noticed by someone else and you start to get talked about a little more, and then you're going to jump to that next plateau.
God, I remember checking my stream summary. This was probably back in like 2015, 2016. The number 7 average viewers was like the most fucking viewed number. Like every time I went to my stream summary, 7, 7, 7. I'm like, holy Christ, when am I going to get away from this goddamn number 7? And then after that, it was the number 19 and 20. I could not breach that threshold. But it's like as soon as you break the 1, another number just becomes your new normal, and you just focus on that really hard.
Or better yet, you can stop focusing on the number and just let it grow organically.
Right. Yeah, and that takes a while.
I feel I'm lucky that I really would not want to be a full-time Twitch streamer. I know that's like everyone's dreams, but I am so happy. Number one, just having a stable income where I don't have to like freak out about like sub numbers and things like that, but also just that I can enjoy the whole process and not have to focus on that viewership or the money.
Yes,
100%. And even though, I mean, Twitch has been a lot more profitable to me in the last year than it's ever been before, but at the same time, I could not imagine the stress I would have of trying to be a full-time content creator. And then I don't think I could ever do that, man. I mean, I would have to be making a lot more than I am currently on Twitch, and that would be putting a lot of stress on myself to try and make that revenue. And unfortunately, the main ways of making that revenue currently, and I'm trying to get alternate revenue streams through companies right now, but the current way for Twitch that they want you to do is, depend on your community to make your revenue, and don't get me wrong, the sub stuff is great and whatnot, but like, a lot of the decisions I feel like they've made as of late have just been with the bottom line involved and less so with, whether this is a good thing for Twitch or not.
That has been a huge talking point for me as of late. But before we get into some Twitch topics, we want to go over what kind of video games we've been playing lately.
Sure.
Cool.
Well, I think we know what Charmed's been playing.
I've been really focused on Hello Kitty bubblegum girlfriends. It's really amazing. That's all. I don't even play games off stream anymore. I don't have the time for it. It's all Skyrim. I'm really hoping at some point soon I can get back to doing some Oblivion and Morrowind as well, because I miss the fuck out of them.
Not playing video games on stream means I'm playing games once every like 3 weeks, and it is really fucking hard to not play video games, because there's so many times where I want to, but I feel like too many stars have to align in order for me to have a good gaming experience. Now that I've turned 30, it's just, I mean, if I were to quit streaming, quit making YouTube videos, get off of fucking TikTok, I could have so much time to play video games, but there's just other things that have just creeped up in priority above playing games as often as I'd like to. And I know that in 10 years from now, when life is completely different than it is now, there might be a time where I have so much time to play video games. So I always just kind of keep that in mind too. Jimmy, what have you been playing?
Dark Souls 3. I think I have like 3 or 4 bosses left in the main game total. And then there's the DLC, but I'm going to wait on the DLC till later. I've been playing some Dreamcast and PlayStation 1 scary game Jank. I did some of that yesterday, and the day before was pretty fun.
How's that?
It was fun, man. Actually, I didn't put this on the list. I got a review copy of the Castlevania Advance Collection from Konami.
I saw that.
And they were like, "Hey, we see you like playing Castlevania and whatever and Metroidvania type games. Would you like a review key?" I was like, "Yeah, I want a free game."
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So I played that, and that was fun. And then I got a review key for this game that came out in 2018 called Death's Gambit Afterlife.
Yeah.
It is a game that I know you've played, but dude, it's like a whole new game now. And it's like a comeback story, kind of similar in some ways to No Man's Sky. Like, this is a game that kind of didn't fulfill a lot of expectations they had early on, that now I've played a little bit of it. And they gave me, I just asked the developer for a key. I sent a message on Discord, said, "Hey, I'm interested in this game now since the update. I'm a streamer. Here's my information. I'd love to play. Do you have a review copy I could play on stream?" And like not even 5 minutes later, they sent me a key.
Yes.
And I was so impressed. Like, I went and bought keys and gave them out to the community while I was streaming. And I even did another one in Discord because I wanted to support the dev for the, just being cool. You know what I mean? Like, there was like no questions asked. I don't even know if they clicked on my Twitch page or not. But whatever. But just having a dev willing to say, "Yeah, here, go stream our game," and I thought that was cool. And I hope the people that I gave the game to are enjoying it too, because it's a pretty fun game.
There is something about like that little, it's like, I would have bought your game, but because you were nice, I'm going to buy 4 games.
Yeah.
And just recently I was in line for Starbucks, and I pull up to the window, get ready to pay for my vanilla sweet cream cold brew shot of espresso. And the lady goes, "Hey, by the way, the person in front of you paid for your coffee." I'm like, "No fucking way. That's awesome." I'm like, "All right, well, let me pay for the person behind me." And like, "All right, the total's $15.70. I'm like, "Oh, well." And as soon as she said that, I'm like, "It's kind of too late to pull back, isn't it?" She goes, "Yeah." That's all I paid for it anyways. But I'm like, what are the fucking chances? I got 3 coffees behind me. But again, it's like, just the gesture of somebody else doing that without knowing. I'm like, holy shit. I feel like I could climb Mount Everest today. Like, that's how much of a boost that was. So it's so cool to see people do stuff like that.
Oh yeah. What else?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The only other thing I was going to say with games is, of course, I will plan on doing that Skyrim remaster. We talked about that. It is Halloween season, spooky season, so I'm the community voted on Dead Space 2.
Nice.
Which I've never played before. I've heard it's really good. And then Knackers and I are actually doing a co-op stream next Saturday. We're playing Super Mario. Actually, I need to talk to you about that.
You need to reschedule?
No. I don't know is it online co-op or only local co-op?
Oh, don't fuck my ass with that now.
I think I read. You go ahead. All right, that's all I had to say about games. You talk about your games. Let me look
For anybody in chat who might know, our question is: we want to play is it new Super Mario 3D World for
Mario 3D World for the Switch,
and we want to play online co-op.
Online co-op. I'm looking it up.
Oh my god.
Player.
Heads up about Dead Space 2. Anytime somebody mentions this, I bring it up. I don't know if this has been fixed.
It says it does have it.
It does? Okay. Sweet.
Yes. Okay.
Are you playing Dead Space on PC?
I was actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the dev sent me the free DLC.
Oh, let's go. There is a bug that when you play for Dead Space 2 on Steam, everything is unlocked in the store. So like when you go to the first ATM in that game, every weapon and armor and everything is all unlocked. So if you get to that point and you see that everything is unlocked, the game's fucking broken. When I researched it years ago, there was nothing you could do to fix it. So that might be
I'm going to be playing Dead Space 2 on console.
I just asked you if you were going to play it on PC. And you said
I thought you were
yes.
talking about another game.
Hey, Hey, Jimmy, are you playing Dead Space 2 on PC?
No, I thought you were talking about another game.
No!
You're turning red. Should take a breath. Yo, I'm gonna get some more wine. I'll be back in a minute.
You do that!
Yes.
Okay.
All right, anyways,
Yes,
as far as video games for me, not only was I able to get some Call of Duty Cold War in, I was able to play the Halo Infinite Big Team Battle beta as well. And I was very impressed. Not just like in general, Halo Infinite on PC with fucking FOV sliders and graphic settings and graphic or keybind remaps. It's such a wonderful experience to have on Halo. The big team battle, doing, I think it was 8v8. It might have even been 16-16. I don't remember. There was a lot of dudes, but it was super fun. Did you grow up playing Halo at all, Charmed?
I played the first Halo, and I think that was the last Halo I ever got involved with.
Oh, shit.
That was around the time I was basically getting done with first-person shooters.
Mm.
Not to say that I had anything against it. It was a very fun game.
Okay. So yeah, I was able to play that a good bit. I'm pretty excited for that to come out. I hope it's not one of the games that I play and then I immediately drop. Like, there's a really good chance that I'll buy it and I'll enjoy it. So still to this day, are you not playing first-person shooters kind of in general? Well, you said you're not
Pretty
gaming at all.
much not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just all Elder Scrolls at this point. Occasionally, I might play something else. I really want to play the new. Well, it's not even new at this point, but Hitman 3. I love the new Hitman series.
Yes.
One of the few games I have done that's not an Elder Scrolls game on stream was Hitman and Hitman 2 challenge runs. Murder every civilian while disguised as a clown, things like that.
I think that what you do on Twitch could easily transform into trying to do Hitman. First of all, I need you in a suit every single day that you stream. I need you to shave your head. I need you to really embrace this character. But I seriously, I think that what you could do, or what you do now, could totally transform into Hitman streams. And I think you could make it, because that's embracing the challenge style of what you like to do with Skyrim. And I think you'd be great at it.
It has the same elements that I think are required for something that I'm going to stream, which is it has to have a lot of potential for emergent comedy. Yeah, there's just so many ways for chaos to erupt in any Hitman level, and just so many ridiculous things that can happen that you always have some way that you can deliberately produce an entertaining show out of it.
Sure, absolutely. Hell yeah. I think that was it as far as video games. So yeah, why don't we get into some of the Twitch topics, which actually kind of dominate a lot of our discussions today. The first thing that I want to start off was actually something that I had tweeted out a couple weeks ago about my prediction for where Twitch was going to go in the future with their ads. And you disagreed, but I want you to kind of explain your point, because I remember reading through it and I kind of got what you were saying, but I knew that we were going to have a podcast together, so I was just going to ask you then. So my original tweet was, my only prediction regarding Twitch will increase the revenue split for subs, but not without one of these. A, forcing unskippable 60-second ads at the beginning for every stream. B, forcing 60-second ads for every X minutes of stream watched. Or C, remove ad-free viewing for subs across the board. And I can't remember if I was thinking that this was going to exclude Twitch Turbo or not. And then you said you didn't think so at all, so I kind of want to get your explanation on that.
Yeah, so I think this would actually be a good time to kind of go over something else that I wanted to talk about. Well, I'll answer your question first, but then I'll kind of segue into this, which is professionally, I am a developer that specializes in cloud computing, things like AWS, native development. And so actually I kind of go over briefly what this looks like from Twitch's side and why subsplits and everything work the way that they do.
Oh, okay, great.
But regarding what you were saying, I think the first thing that they do is they drop Twitch Prime. And the reason is that a lot of the discussion around splits is actually fundamentally erroneous. because what people do is they go look at their sub counts. They're gonna, they look in their revenue section and they see tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and they see the split there, like 50-50. For all of them, I think it is if you're an affiliate, or it's like 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, depending on the tier if you're a partner. It's rarely accounted for is the fact that that tier 1 section includes Prime. And Prime subs do not have a 50-50 split. Prime subs, technically, they're an infinite split in your favor because you're getting 250 out of 0, right? Nothing is actually being, there's no marginal income for Twitch there. And it's not like the Amazon Prime program sets aside $60 in that $130 yearly fee
Right.
to be like the revenue for the subs, right? And then it gives half of it to Twitch and half of it to you, right? They make up that money through you buying more stuff with Amazon Prime. So essentially, if you get one Prime sub and you have one organic tier 1 sub, someone paid, right? You're going to get $5, barring taxes and fees and all that, out of $5 that was spent. So you basically have a 100% split at that point. And so people are not really calculating the actual effective split. And Twitch, I think, does a bad job of even exposing that because they don't even show you how many of your subs are Prime. They're like, I actually can't find any way to do it other than tracking it as it happens. So I think that would be probably the first thing that has to go because they're basically giving you $250 out of nothing. Now, I suspect Twitch doesn't lose money on this. I suspect Amazon reimburses them as part of the program between Amazon and Twitch.
Which is funny because like that's the only tie to Twitch that Amazon has. Like that is the only thing in existence that actually ties those two platforms together.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think they assume they're a lot closer linked than they are, but it's important to understand Twitch is a completely separate, wholly owned subsidiary. So legally, it is a separate corporation.
Right.
And there has to be a certain level of division between them. It's not like there's just one big pool of money that they both draw from. There's like specific transactions between them. They're going to actually pay AWS for the resources that they are using to run Twitch, right? That they basically are paying other parts of Amazon for that. Which kind of gets to the interesting thing here, which is everybody wants to have a better split, right? And that makes sense. But I think it's important to understand what the costs are on Twitch side and why they're super aggressive, seemingly compared to others, right? So to calculate this, I actually looked at an extreme example. So I looked at XQC, right? So very, very big streamer. But people think that these big streamers are making Twitch all the money, right? They're like, Twitch only cares about the big streamers. They don't give a fuck about me with my like 30 viewers, right? But I would actually contend that the biggest streamers are massive money losses for Twitch. And it's actually the people that are usually around like 100 viewers, and in particular who get a lot of gift subs. Those are probably the only profitable streamers for Twitch. So use XQC as an example. So May 2021 was his peak popularity ever. He had 110,073 average viewers, according to Twitch Tracker. And he was live for 353 hours, which is insane.
Oh my God.
That's like 2.5 full-time jobs, right? But every time that someone is watching a stream, every one of those instances, right, they're separately, my cat's trying to mess with my audio equipment.
I heard a meow.
Yes. Separately downloading this. So overall, if all you have to do is basic multiplication here, that was about 39 million hours of XQC was watched in May, which is insane, right? XQC streams at 8 megabits. I don't know exactly what the split is on how many people will watch him on source and how many will watch, a transcoded version. But imagine that on average, those viewers were watching at 4 megabits, right? So half a megabyte per second, basically. If you do the math on that, we basically are going to end up with around 70 petabytes of XQC live video went across the internet in May of 2021.
Holy shit.
Yes, it's absolutely mind-boggling. And here's where things get a little iffy. We don't know exactly what Twitch pays for that bandwidth. They use a CDN called Telia for their distribution. And that's kind of a big corporate-focused customer, so it's all private contracts between them. But to try to get an estimate for what a good price would be, you can look at the big cloud providers like AWS, Azure, GCP. the cheapest price I can find for bandwidth anywhere, and this varies with how much bandwidth you're using. You get cheaper amounts for larger amounts, but in this case, the cheapest is AWS, and that's for data over 5 petabytes, which XQC alone blows away, right? That's 2 cents per gigabyte. So if we do the math, that ends up being a $1.4 million charge to Twitch just for delivering that stream to the viewers.
Holy shit.
See, I think if you talk to most people and you ask them how much does it cost to deliver a stream, they're probably thinking it's like hundreds of dollars, right? And here we're talking literally in the millions. And just to verify this, Twitch actually does make its own infrastructure available to anyone. You can buy it on AWS with what they call IVS, the Interactive Video Service. The cheapest price that you would get with the public pricing, and this is assuming every viewer watched in SD, so 480p or less, would be 3.5 cents per viewer hour. So if we do the same math there, we end up with about a $1.36 million price, which is pretty close. Now, in reality, a lot of those people are not watching in SD. They're watching in HD, which is double the price. But also, because that's the public-facing price, Twitch is going to have a discount, right, compared to that. So I think this $1.35 to $1.4 million mark actually seems very likely to me. So
I do want to correct one thing you said earlier. You actually can track your Prime stuff in the analytics. If you go into your dashboard and you click on Insights, and then you click on Channel Analytics, and you make sure that you have subscriptions as one of those options, and you click directly on the subscriptions tab, it breaks up the different types of subscriptions, including Prime subs, and it also breaks down what your revenue is from Prime subs in that period of time that you put in the window. So you can track that.
Yeah, excellent.
Twitch's own
excellent.
tool.
Thank you for correcting me on that. Yeah. But I think it's an interesting exercise for people to go look at that and actually figure out what their real split is in that case, because I think a lot of people are getting probably closer to like 70% than they think at this point. Because my experience just tracking a lot of other streams is that usually there's almost a 1-to-1 ratio of Prime subs to the organic, like non-gifted paid tier 1 sub.
Oh, yeah. Like when Primes first dropped, everybody's revenue and sub numbers just doubled overnight and then stayed there. And I think that's probably like a huge factor in people think that they have their base number of subs, right? And then they have their Prime subs. Nobody did anything extra or put in any more work to get those Prime subs. Those were just gifted to you and basically changed people's lives like overnight, right? And that's just not a factor.
The funny thing is, because we see them as subs, we never stop to think about the fact that this is just like extra bonus money compared to the original paid subs.
Mm-hmm. Which, if they were just to pull that, like if they were to say, yep, a Prime's done, that would be fucking detrimental, right?
It would devastate a lot of full-time streamers, I think.
Yeah,
which leads to go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I can't say, and I know that you could do studies on size of channel stream. I've never really gotten a ton of Twitch Prime subs. I think the most revenue I've ever received in a month of Twitch Prime, and I track this generally, is maybe like $70 or $80 of sub revenue from Prime. It's not really one for one at all. Now that's still $70 or $80 I wouldn't have received otherwise. I'm not looking that gift horse in the mouth. All I'm saying is it's never been a huge factor income wise for myself.
Okay.
I know for a lot of big time streamers, it certainly is a large chunk of change.
The case where I find that when I look at the stats for a channel where they actually are suffering from having that even split is really the people who are getting huge numbers of gift subs. Because that's where I find that the paid subs tend to start to drastically outweigh the Prime subs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all that kind of leads now to the question of, like, in this XQC example, what is Twitch's income from that, right? So we have basically a cost of 1.4 million. I'm not even including things like transcoding and stuff, because compared to that, it's trivial. So he had 80,674 subs in May. But of that, about half, 39,348, those were Prime. So Twitch got no income from that. There's zero income to Twitch.
Half of the subs?
Almost half. just under 50%.
Wow.
And then tier 1, this is a little weird. I'm going by the Twitch tracker numbers. They say there were 22,629 tier 1s, but they also have this 18,426 that they call unlisted. I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming for the sake of this example that those are tier 1s. So that would be 41,055 tier 1 subs. Presumably, he has a 70% split given his size. That gets Twitch $61,582.50. Mainer, which are the tier 2s and tier 3s, that brings in just around $1,300. So they're getting about $63,000 in sub income while he's costing them $1.4 million. It's just an absolutely stunning gap, right? And he
I
is
had
an
no
extreme
idea.
example. It's an extreme example because he streams such a huge amount of time, right? If you stream only 40 hours a month, that's a lot easier on Twitch because a sub pays the same no matter how much you're live, right? So essentially, when you pay $5 to an XQC sub, you're getting like a heck ton of bandwidth for your money compared to someone who's live much less. But whenever I investigate any really large streamer, I don't find really anyone that I think is actually profitable for Twitch right now.
That's crazy that like the more you stream, the more profitable you are, but the more that Twitch has to pay for you to be on the platform. That's crazy.
But like you said, though, earlier, there's such a large number of streamers that are in that category between 1 to 200 viewers, which is that sweet spot for Twitch. You know what I mean? And they're bringing in a lot of revenue off of the gifted subs and everything else. So I wonder how much of that balances out, you know, these big losses from the big streams, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's well known that Twitch does operate at a loss currently. I think that's pretty widely assumed, right? And so that's why I think it's going to be very, very hard to see Twitch moving to a 70-30 split anytime soon. And they'll probably have to get a lot better at the ad. Because right now, I think this is a lot more hazy. I tried to actually figure out what kind of ad revenue they would get from XQC as well. And the way I did this is I just looked at my time live. The reason that they want ads, by the way, is because ad revenue scales with the time live, right? This is exactly the problem that is being caused. Assuming that it scales fairly stably, like me versus XQC, which is a huge bad assumption to make for various reasons, right? We all have viewers that watch in different ways. But if that were the case, I estimated he would make around $60,000 a month in that month on ad revenue. And so if you start to do the math, like we don't know the exact split on ad revenue that Twitch uses. They only tell you the absolute number, but like they would have to have a 95-5 split in their favor. If that $60,000 means they're making enough to make up for the cost.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
Number.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That amount in revenue is dog shit compared to the amount of hours watched, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's crazy that Twitch has these insanely high viewership numbers, and they do have ads and what seems like an insane amount of ads, but yet the ad revenue is such dog shit, which means that it has to tell me that they are eating so much of that revenue, and it's just not
their ad
getting...
targeting is awful, and that's why the value of an ad on Twitch is very low, which is how I know that there is not a 95-5 split. Because if that were the case, that would basically make Twitch competitive with a YouTube advertisement, which we know is not the case. Like YouTube is miles ahead in terms of its ad targeting.
Awesome. Well, dude, I did not expect you to go that analytical, and I'm so thankful that you did, because that was an insane amount of insight that I was not looking for.
I honestly,
so
I wonder when I look at this, because the same math is going to be true for streaming on YouTube, every bit as much. Like, is there a viable way to even have a live streaming platform like this? Like, if you're putting all your eggs into like Twitch, I honestly don't know if they can survive. And it's not a matter of going to YouTube, because I honestly don't know that YouTube could continue to operate that kind of system.
It's a matter of doing it all. Right. Like I've said before, I do not want to be a full-time live broadcaster. Right. That is just not in the cards for me. But being a live streamer a video editor for YouTube, like a shit poster on TikTok, right? And like having a okay sized Twitter, if those could all equal the revenue that I'm getting right now from a day job, I could probably do that okay, right? Because like your creative ability of being live is not the only factor of the revenue that you bring in, right? There's different mediums, different platforms, different things you can do. And if you decide to completely change everything that you do on Twitch, but maintain what you're doing on the other platforms, you can sort of, you can get by and migrate over to a different type of content. So such an interesting conversation. So thank you for going over all of that.
And
was
coming
awesome.
back, just kind of one last time to your original tweet. Like, I kind of wonder what the game is going to be farther down the line. I think they will keep trying to do all these various things to shore up like ad revenue and various other things. But I wonder if the end game is that the only way for you to operate profitably or even to break even in this kind of business is that they end up having to basically meter the use and bill the streamer like AWS style. And if you went to that model, imagine you're getting 100% of your subs, but then at the end of the month, the bill comes in for everything. You're probably going to be worse off, actually.
Yeah. Yep. It's like everybody wants to work from home until you realize all the cons of it, right? Like nobody realizes that you're pretty much renting an office space for free. Like you are getting an office space and a platform with hosting for free. Crazy. All right, Jimmy, do you have a topic that you want to go into next while I grab a drink?
Get a drink. I'll start talking about TwitchCon because I know you'll be able to jump right into that. So TwitchCon was just recently announced that they will be bringing TwitchCon back in October of 2022 in San Diego. In Europe, it will be in July of next year in Amsterdam. So we were talking about it before. I've never had a chance to go to TwitchCon before. Charmed, have you?
Obviously. I have been to the 2018 and the 2019 TwitchCon.
That's right, because that's how you guys met, right?
Yeah, it is a blast. You should look forward to it.
Well, and I wasn't able to go because my job until COVID, I used to teach and coach high school sports. And then once COVID started, I resigned from coaching sports because I wasn't gonna be able to keep my family safe, if I was a coach. And so that gave me like a lot more time to stream on Twitch, and also meant that during the month of October, when I would normally be working every day of the week, I actually could take a flight out of town and take a long weekend and go to TwitchCon and actually do it. So this will be my first TwitchCon, and I'm super excited about it, man. Like I am beyond excited actually, because I've never been to one, and I'm looking forward to meeting not only people from my own community, but I'm looking forward to being able to get a chance to meet the creators that I would like to meet that I've never had a chance to meet, yourself included, in person. And then finally, just the chance. I know that I personally, I'll spend some time at the convention, but a lot of the fun you have at TwitchCon is being able to hang out with your buddies and friends and just enjoying, a time out together. And I know it'll be fun out there in San Diego. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah, they really, I think they really took it to the next level in 2019. So I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do with 2022, especially having taken 2 years off. I feel like they're going to want to make it especially a dramatic return.
Yeah, and I haven't really spent any time in San Diego either, so I'm kind of excited to go there.
Maybe want to move there, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice place, I've heard.
It is very nice.
The craziest thing about San Diego is how bright and clean and organized the entire city is. It's fucking insane. It's definitely one of the coolest cities. Toronto is still my number one, but San Diego quickly booped up to number two. So yeah, I was super excited to see that TwitchCon was announced. Obviously, my TwitchCon vacations are some of my favorite vacations I've ever been on.
Right?
Only two.
You've been to two? Okay.
Yep. 2017 and 2019. And it's crazy. 2017 was me, Weenie, and 42 in a 2-bedroom house outside of Long Beach. Like this, it wasn't raggedy, but it was just it wasn't the greatest area, but it was still awesome. And then TwitchCon 2019, we got a fucking villa.
Yo, dude, we gotta find. I'm gonna be on the lookout for something good for our next TwitchCon. I'll be looking. Even if I gotta put the down payment. We need to do something like that. We can link up. Have
yes,
a good
chat.
group.
If you take any advice from me, it's get an Airbnb outside of the city as your home base instead of like getting a hotel in the city. I want to say we probably paid like $300 a person for a 6 or 7 bedroom. When I say villa, I mean a fucking villa. It was mansion,
sweet, man.
pool, hot tub.
It's all y'all's pictures. It was nice.
Like 2 kitchens, right? Just this fucking mansion. And it was absolutely amazing. So I am super excited. I'm obviously still worrisome about what the world is going to be like at that time, but to know that they're still planning on it. I think conventions are just going to be different from now on, right? I think the germaphobeness of people is going to carry for another decade or so before everybody's back to just not caring about it.
Anytime in the future I'm in a packed public place, dude, I gotta have a mask on, man. I ain't trying to,
Yep.
I'm just it's gonna be a lot more. I think that's just if you're indoors and there's a lot of people, probably want to protect yourself a little bit,
Yep.
The post TwitchCon flu is always a meme, and it's not going to be the flu this time.
So we and I got the TwitchCon bug afterwards, and we are both very convinced that we had COVID way back then, because COVID was around then. It just wasn't as rampant. But holy shit, like all of the symptoms line up with how shitty we felt for such a long time, outside of losing your taste and your smell. But it fucking makes you wonder, makes you look back and go, holy shit, was it around back then? But yeah, TwitchCon is like one of the best experiences ever. If you can go, it's hard for me to recommend somebody to go by themselves and like not really have a crew to kind of fall back on. But if you have people that you can go there and meet and hang out with, it's truly one of the greatest experiences. I have been doing online friend meetups for well over a decade, and I could care less about the convention itself. There's some cool things that are going on, right? Like people are there. The broadcasts are meet and greets are there, all that stuff, right? But all of the time outside, like our entire crew is considering only buying a 1-day pass instead of a 3-day pass, because we go there for like 1 to 2 hours a day, and then we spend the rest of the time hanging out around the city, meeting up with people, going out to eat, and holy shit, it's a great ass time.
I'm excited just thinking about it, and it's like over a year away.
And you should be, because it's fucking great.
No, I mean, I've wanted to go to a TwitchCon since TwitchCon was first a thing, but I never could because of my job. And then COVID happened, of course. So we didn't get to go last year and this year. So like, this is my first chance to go. And I'm very excited to just go have a good time and meet a bunch of cool people, man. I'm excited.
My second piece of advice is get there 2 days early and leave a day after. So however
that
long
won't happen for me because I'll be teaching.
Fuck them. Save up the vacation days. You get there on a Wednesday.
I'll have to take off. Like we have rules. Like we can only take off like so many days in a row without having a doctor's note.
Hello, I am your doctor. My patient is going to get anally pounded for 7 days straight. Please relieve him of his teaching duties.
I'll be able to take off at least 2 days.
Perfect. So take off Thursday, Friday. So then you fly out red eye on Wednesday. We party Friday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday, and then you do the convention thing and everything else. And then you go to Little Italy on scooters.
We'll figure it out once they've announced the dates. I'll get my schedule worked out. It'll be fine, and I'll make sure we have a good place to stay, and we'll get all that worked out. We'll get a crew. It's gonna be great.
Any other TwitchCon discussions?
I would love to go to Amsterdam.
I know you would.
Depending on when I actually may be going this summer to fucking the UK.
Really?
Well, my father-in-law he was born in Wales, and he wants to go back like to Wales one more time because he's in his 70s, you know. And so like my wife was telling me that her dad wanted to go back to Wales this summer and they wanted us to go with him. And I'm like, well, fuck, if they go around the right time, man, maybe we could swing by Amsterdam. You know? Because it's not like everything's that far apart in Europe. It's a quick flight, you know? So
Winnie wants to go there bad.
it'd be fun. I've been to Amsterdam before when I was much younger. And it was a cool place, so I would like to go.
I just saw the screenshot that you posted in the Crocs channel.
that was from Smelly Fisherman posted that in my Discord. I was like, what the fuck is this?
That's pretty great.
That was funny.
Okay, so all right, because we want to have limited time. You know, we got like about a half hour before we start the Q&A. What topics interest you guys the most? Pay to win, verified chat, or the deal that Twitch signed with the NMPA? The NMPA thing is really quick. It doesn't really warrant a discussion, I don't think. But
I say we go in this order: NMPA, then we go verified chat, and then we take the big meaty one, pay to win, at the end.
Okay, all right. So yeah, first topic: Twitch strikes a deal with the NMPA, and actually, since this article has come out, they have also signed a different deal with the Warner Music Group, which if you've ever uploaded a video to YouTube, you're almost guaranteed to have gotten a DMCA or like a copyright notification from WMG. Or I'm sorry, no, it's UMG, not WMG. God damn it. They're so close. So there was a lot of, not drama, there was a lot of assumptions that this deal that Twitch was going to be signing with the NMPA was that everybody was going to be able to stream music on Twitch without any consequences.
Which was an absurd expectation.
Which it was. And apparently not absurd enough, because the following day, the amount of TikToks that I saw from people with 3, 5, 700,000 followers on TikTok, Twitch signs deal with Warner Music Group. And then these are all of the artists' music that you can now stream on Twitch without getting penalized. And just the comments of, oh my fucking yes, daddy, I'm so excited. I'm going to play fucking 21 Savage all day. And I'm like, oh, did you read anything? Or was your mind just, I can get so many likes if I post this on TikTok right now?
The TLDR, for those of you that didn't catch the article, basically they're putting less severe things in place. So it's not like you're just automatically going to get banned with 3 strikes now.
Right.
They're going to slap you with some warnings first. It's not going to just be a 3 strikes and you're out type of deal, which begs the question, did they strike this deal because they lost some fucking good people because of the 3 strikes rule?
I doubt it.
Or are they just trying to CYA?
From what I read, and from going over one of Devin Nash's recent videos, it seemed like even though Twitch was still in safe harbor, their rules were extremely strict, right? Like YouTube has a 3 strike policy, right? But they also have an insanely detailed copyright system in place where it's really difficult to upload copyrighted content to YouTube right now. Before you can even publish the video, it tells you if it's found copyrighted content within your content. So I think that they just realized it wasn't as necessary to have this happen. And because this deal with the NMPA, and because there is now a more sophisticated strike system that Twitch can use to spank its broadcasters, it's not as big of a deal. Which kind of surprised me, because I thought that the 3 strike policy was like a copyright standard, right? Not like, and when I thought Twitch had it and YouTube had it, I just thought that was law, was 3 strikes and you're fucking out.
So the DMCA requirement is that it is required that they punish repeat offenders, and the 3 strikes policy has simply become a very common way of implementing that. But yeah, it's not a requirement. They can, as long as a judge would consider them reasonably restricting someone who has made repeat offenses, they would be fine.
Right. I mean, hey, if it works for baseball, Works for everybody else. Why not? 3 strikes, you're out, right? So I just wanted to take this time to reiterate, you still can't stream music on Twitch. You still cannot use music that you do not have the license to.
There's so much good shit, free shit out there. Why do you need to stream licensed shit? I don't get it.
Music it's not even a part of the stream. It's not even that big of a deal. I just want to listen to it. Okay. Yeah.
It's the most quintessential example of a violation.
Yeah.
You know,
there is one one thing that I think is interesting about this deal, though, which is because this is no longer technically a DMCA process, you cannot counterclaim anymore. So whatever they say automatically goes.
I missed that. Also, I never heard what. Have you heard any progress in XQC's countersuit?
I think you're talking about the Olympics.
Yeah.
I think the Olympics just dropped it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I think it just wasn't worth it to them. It's very obvious that was an infringement, right? So I'm pretty sure it's not like they're, oh yeah, we were wrong about that. I think it's not worth it to them.
Interesting. I'll have to go back and look at that because that was kind of a big deal that I just didn't hear anything.
I might be misremembering, but
I'm gonna hold you to it. Whenever somebody says like, "Hey, why can't I stream music? It's not even that big of a deal, right? Like it's just background music," and I tell them, "Listen, sit here with me. Take my hands, close your eyes. Imagine watching Interstellar, watching the docking scene with no music. It doesn't fucking work because music conveys emotion and memories and nostalgia, and it is so immeasurably powerful. That is why you have to fucking pay for the license to use the music on your stream. So pay for the license." This is a sponsored Crocs and Hot Pockets message. Anyways, moving on. Verified chat. This is actually really exciting. And this also kind of ties into my final point on the script that isn't worth like having a complete point about. But there are so many awesome changes that Twitch is making to their platform right now that are benefiting streamers. But they are so busy shoveling shit into our mouths that we don't care that they're doing anything good because it's too easy to focus on all of the negatives. But yeah, verified chat. So Twitch released in this past week a new way where you could set moderation settings for your channel to require chatters to have a verified email address or a verified phone number. And there's actually there's a couple different settings that you can manage in between there as well. Jimmy, I'm going to use your screenshot as an example. So underneath email verification, you can either select to have all of your chatters need a verified email, or you can say, I only want some of the chatters to need a verified email. And you can set how long their accounts need to be as far as age-wise, how long they need to be following for them to chat. So some awesome details for those as well. And then
I want to say something real quick.
No. As far as the phone, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So I learned the hard way. I hadn't thought this through. I had originally set that when the day Twitch released this, I've had bot problems in the past and trolls and whatever. So I was like, yes, here's a tool that I can use to combat that. I had set the things to talk and chat as followers one day on that, or if they didn't have a verified phone number. Well, I got raided by a pretty good sized raid and like nobody could talk.
Oh shit.
Like no one was following me. And I was like, oh, okay. So I took that setting out. I think that's a setting that maybe you activate it if you're in the middle of something, and that can be another way you can combat it, you know?
Which one?
The followers one. I think it's better to just set the account age to talk and chat to have it verified. I think I have it set to like a week or maybe even a day, but where they can't just be like someone making a fresh account to try and bullshit, you know?
I think part of the problem is that they haven't had a filter for a phone requirement previously, so a lot of people just don't have it yet, and probably over time that will change.
Yeah, but like literally it was like had this massive raid. It was like a 3-figure raid, and it was like crickets.
Yeah.
and then I went, and then everyone was like, "What the hell?" And then I figured it out, and then I changed it, and then people started talking. I was like, "I'm sorry, I had just activated the thing." My mods were telling me, "You need to change your fucking thing." You know,
Yo, hats off to your mods for fucking holding it down.
mods are pretty smart people, so I got some smart ones. Well, most of them.
Well, I mirrored your settings, you son of a bitch. So now I need to go in and change them.
Take off
so
the,
fill
take off
the
the
air,
follower
you
settings.
bitch.
Yeah, take out the follower one. But I mean, it was brand new. I hadn't thought about the raids. I didn't realize, oh shit, I just got raided by a bunch of people who don't follow me. They can't say word in chat because most of them don't have a verified phone number, you know?
Right.
So it was like showing like all these people showing up and then nobody could fucking talk.
Which is like, it's a double-edged sword, right?
It is.
If you're
you
going
have
to lock
find
it down.
the right balance. What I love about this though is that Twitch made it everything totally optional, so every streamer can adjust it according to their level of need for their stream. And if you need to set the security levels higher, you can. You don't have to have them at all. It's up to the streamer, which I feel like is a thing that Twitch has been missing out a lot of lately. I feel like they've been forcing things on people instead of giving them the option to change in certain regards. So, yeah. Anyway, it's an improvement. I'm glad that Twitch implemented this, especially with all the shit that's happened with the hate raids and the bot raids and everything else and all this. You know what I found out was a real thing earlier, like this weekend? You know what? And as a veteran, it pissed me off. I follow some other veteran streamers on Twitch. There's like these people that intentionally go to veterans channels and say the most terrible shit.
Yep.
Like they'll follow with like really terrible things that you should never say to somebody, and specifying just because they're a veteran, and it's just like it's horrifying. It's like, oh my, I didn't even know that was a thing until like a couple days
hate
ago.
raids have been expanding to target them too.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh my god, that's terrible. Like I would, if I saw some of the things that like while I was streaming that they attacked some of these other people with, I probably would have had a emotional reaction to it.
Yeah, because
I would have had a real
trying to trigger PTSD, right? They are actively trying to dig into the darkest parts of your being and unleash it. And that's a
disturbing.
new kind of dark.
It's
that's
disturbing.
Really fucking
because
dark.
even though I don't have follower notifications anymore because of all the bot trolls and all the bullshit, I can still see who followed. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can still see that out of the corner of my eye. And if I was seeing shit like, you know, your battle buddy killed himself, you're a terrible, dishonorable fuck soldier. I mean, just all this other shit, it would probably trigger me, man. Like, honestly, I hadn't even thought about that. You know, like I was like, oh my God, that would be so triggering.
Yeah.
So how terrible of a person do you have to be to do something like that? You know? I don't know.
There's a weird aspect in that regard to live streaming. So like recently I recorded a YouTube video. I can't imagine getting like hate rated or negative comments while trying to make this YouTube video, right? Like with a YouTube video, you script, you record, you edit, you post, and then people shit in your mouth, right? Mm-hmm. With live streaming, people are just shitting in your mouth while you're trying to talk for 4 hours straight playing video games. I cannot imagine trying to make a video for YouTube and just getting shit on throughout the entire process. Like that would be fucking terrible. But it's the norm for live streaming. That's just what you deal with. And total side note, if none of you have watched one of Devin Nash's recent videos about the mental toll of live streaming, he does a whole mental health video. It's about 40 minutes long. If you don't know who Devin Nash is and you guys are aspiring streamers, he is an asset to watch. His YouTube channel is fantastic. He does this video about mental health and streaming, and he covers so many amazing points. And that's one of the things that he highlights is there has been no other medium in the history of content where you as the creator, as the stage front, are subject to immediate feedback, positive or negative. Mm-hmm. And what the fuck that does to your brain over a long period of time. And it's an interesting conversation.
Oh, it's a conversation that I have. Like I'll give you another example. Like my video editor, he's kind of dipping his toe into streaming. He does like a bunch of video editing for corporate type stuff, and helps me with a bunch of variety of other things. But I happened to pop into his stream the other day, and he was really abrupt about after his stream. Was like, all right, what do you see needs to be fixed? I'm like, all right, dude, you got to make your gameplay screen bigger. You got to do this or that. I think it's I guess the point I'm trying to make is I don't even know what point I'm trying to make. Streamers should help other streamers, and I think viewing other streamers as your peers instead of competition makes such a huge difference. I know I'm totally changing the subject here a little bit, but it took me a long time to figure that out, and the moment I did, it really made everything I did a lot better. So. Just for me. Hello.
I am of the mindset that every streamer is your competition in your niche, right? Like, am I competition to Charmed? No. People who are watching me are not watching Charmed, right? They are looking for a specific type of content. That doesn't mean that your friends can't be mentors and competition, right? Like Jimmy,
competition in the sense that it's I see what you mean. Competition in the sense that you're both vying for a higher viewership, sure. But competition in the sense is like where people see someone else as like a rival. No,
absolutely not. No,
I get what you're saying though, and I know the word competition can be interpreted in different ways. So. Yeah.
Well, I think because people take that and then apply it to like this rose-tinted glasses world of Twitch where everybody loves everybody and like we should all be boosting each other up, like super toxic positivity stuff. And it's like, no, there's definitely room for competition on this platform. But competition can also be a huge motivator, right? Like to have people that are in your group that might be doing the same thing you're doing. Like it's okay to have people around you that you love and respect, but that you're also kind of battling against, because if you don't have any motivation to be better, then you are going to get stale. If you have no opposing forces to you as a creator whatsoever, like if it was easy to get 10,000, 15,000 viewers on Twitch, do you know how shit our high echelon streamers would be? Because you could just turn on a camera and you could go live and create content. It would be terrible. Like there has to be a reason why you have to get to that level, because it's incredibly difficult, because you have to
I'm interested to hear what Charmed's take on this subject is and how you view other, because even though it's not like the largest category on Twitch, there's still a lot of people that stream Skyrim. So how do you view the Skyrim category and other streamers on Skyrim? I'm curious.
Skyrim is a very interesting case because it's small enough that everybody knows everybody else who's a regular Skyrim streamer. So everybody is pretty friendly with each other. So in one sense, yes, there is competition. Like whenever someone else is like doing some more modding that makes their game like extra cool, I have to feel like I now have to take it to the next level too. And, I'm doing the same thing to them. I don't really feel like there's a very difficult competition between us. It's very common in that Skyrim category for people to be watching multiple Skyrim streams at the same time. And like the people who are my competition, I'll raid them at the end of my stream or they'll raid me at the end of theirs. And like our viewership doesn't even change because it's like they're already there. It's just a tab merger for them. So I think in the Skyrim category, just due to that kind of that friendliness and that level of intimacy that everybody has, it's just not as severe.
That's good though, man. That's really not a bad thing. That's kind of nice.
No, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
It really helps, I think, with that mental game too. Like you never really feel like you're gonna get like run out of the space. It is a friendly competition in the sense that we're trying to all make our Skyrim like the coolest that anyone's ever done. But I never really felt like the viewership was at risk by that, or that I would put anyone else's viewership at risk by doing that either. It just feels more like we're all just learning from each other and continuing to make the entire category like more attractive.
No doubt.
Whenever people are talking about like big tech companies, right? Like competition is best for the consumer. It's the same exact thing for viewers. Like streamers competing with each other to put on the best show possible is only a benefit for everybody else.
I just want people to think when they see my stream, they're like, hey, that person puts out a really high quality product on the platform. Like, I'm not trying to diss anybody. I'm not trying to like say like even put people down. But when I see other streamers doing cool things that I think are neat, I'm like, how can I do that and make it better? You know, that's what I see. And you're right. It's a motivating factor to make yourself as a creator better. You know who's done it better than anyone? The moment, and even still has an influence. Dr. Disrespect, arguably one of the greatest production values of any live stream ever. That guy has inspired whatever you feel about him, I don't give a shit. The guy has an amazing high quality production live stream.
Yep.
Just incredible production value.
Just as a perfect example, Jimmy, there is no denying that we have both borrowed things from each other's streams. But us as great friends don't sit around going, man, I can't believe he took my thing and made it better. I can't believe he took my thing and transformed it enough to where it wasn't a copy and he made it better, right?
What is he thinking?
You look at it from afar and go, damn, he made it better. I'm gonna do that same shit.
When I first started streaming Morrowind, like I said, it was all just like very vanilla stuff. And by the time, a year later, by the time I was moving on more to Skyrim, I was doing permadeath Morrowind, something that people thought was just like out of this world, stupid,
psychopath.
impossible.
You're a psychopath.
And now it's become like a regular thing. There are now other streamers that have heavily modded Morrowind that are doing permadeath. With Skyrim, it was kind of normal to have maybe 200 mods when I started streaming Skyrim. Now, kind of as I've pushed the limit further and farther, other people have as well. And there's multiple of us now that are hitting that like 2,000 mod part. It's becoming kind of the standard.
And
the meme stuff that I have done has spread to. Yeah, the meme stuff that I do has actually been taken up by other people. It's not something that upsets me that I see like the same idea. I actually love it. Like I go to their streams. I'm entertained by their channels too. So like the fact that they are better means I now have like awesome stuff to watch. And I love seeing the new stuff that they come out with too, because it's not like they only borrow things that I did. They also come up with novel, really cool stuff, and I'm borrowing some of their ideas as well. It's everyone is getting better all the time as long as you have this kind of friendly, especially a friendly competition, I think.
One thing that I always kind of yoink back to is the fact that comedians very commonly go up to each other and go, hey, I have a joke for you. Or, hey, can I use one of your jokes because it would fit well for me? Like, it is a very common thing for comedians to just trade content back and forth. And I happened to look at chat for a second for something that Whiskey said. At least in the communities I've come up in on Twitch, I've always found it to be more of an uplifting place. Yes. And if you are around the right group of people who understand that you can learn from each other while also streaming next to each other, right? Like, competition doesn't mean you have to be like fisticuffs, constantly fighting, not getting along. Like, you can have the friendly competition to where you inspire each other and you critique each other. Like, the group of friends that you should have on Twitch are the ones where they can come up to you and say, hey, that thing you did wasn't fucking great, and for this reason. And you're going to get hurt, right? You're going to get hurt when your friends say something like that, but those are all growing experiences. And I know that just from the way that you've kind of talked about the Skyrim community, it kind of seems that way, where you've got a really great group of people where you all know you're doing the same thing, but all in your own little different way. And the truth about creative process is that everybody is borrowing things from everybody. And it's not about who did whatever first. It's about who is doing whatever best without being a huge piece of shit. Right, Jimmy? You know about that.
I know it. Q&A?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Any final points on that most recent topic?
Don't be an asshole.
I'm open to go to the Q&A. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be an asshole.
There's the takeaway.
Yeah.
So many topics can just be summarized with that.
Yep. Yeah, amen. All right, let me refresh this page. All right, first question, first of two. This one from WebMets. Charmed, when did you decide to start publicizing your pets on stream?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I started streaming after I got my first 3 cats, and I think they were in that from the very get-go. I think I had a cat cam the first day. I'd have to go back and check on that, but if it wasn't the first day, then I know it came very, very quickly, probably within like a week or two of starting.
You were committed to the cat.
How often do the cats play with the window washers in your high-rise apartment that you got going on back there?
The cats are they're quite a handful. It used to be that, I had the 3 cats and they would all sit with me. Now they're a bit more independent. They all kind of sit in their own spots. And every once in a while you see one on stream or even 2. Most of the time they're just causing trouble for me now. I have a very complex setup and they have many, many opportunities to stir up trouble. I've got like one of my servers here. It's in a server rack, but right now the back is open because I have to like route some cables in a funky way. And sometimes I will find the cat in there, and I don't even have a top on that PC. I found her just sleeping in the PC.
Oh my God.
It's warmer, Dad. It's warm in here.
Yep.
Yeah, or they mess with my dial here. I've got my my RedNet box because I do network audio for everything that my IEMs connect to. And like right now, I've got a cat sleeping on it, and she's rotating the line out dial, which fortunately is not in use. But if she were sleeping a little further to the left, she'd be turning my headphones up to max volume, and I would be very unhappy.
Oh my God. I totally relate to the cables going in odd directions. So in this server that I built in this rack, I took 2 USB expansion PCI cards and I cut out parts of my case and then screwed the cards into the back of the case just to have more USB slots. And it's like, this works great. I don't care. I don't care what this looks like. It works great.
Yeah. I'm not a cable management person. I'm used to the technical server
Fucking
stuff.
hate cable management so
Me
goddamn
too.
much. God. Look, chat, I know you guys see all these beautiful streamers on Reddit and Twitter and these like couples gaming setups.
Bullshit.
It's such
never
bullshit.
stays that way. Never.
Fuck cable management. Don't make it look good. Make it functional. I don't give a shit if you have 20 LaCroix sitting on the left side of your desk. Nobody fucking cares except for the other sweaties on Reddit who love these setups. Make it shitty. Just fuck it all up. All right. Also a sponsored message by Cracks and Hot Pockets Podcast. Next question. Also the last question from Joe Tashi. Do you think TwitchCon will require people to have their vax?
There's a good chance because it's in California.
Very
good chance.
I'm going to guarantee that they are going to require vaccination cards.
I wouldn't doubt it.
think so.
And I have no problem with that either. So
I don't either. Everybody has their own opinions, right? But as somebody who is vaccinated, going to an event knowing that they are requiring it makes me feel better, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you aren't vaccinated and you're not going, your opinion is irrelevant, right? If you aren't vaccinated and you are going, I understand that is like, that's a problem, right? But for the vast majority of people, that's going to make them more comfortable for the event. And that I am all for, 100%.
I'm sure they'll have like medical exemptions if, like, say you're allergic to it or something like that.
Right.
But they'll probably even then they're going to require a negative test.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I think that'll be a thing. I do. Especially where the low venue is. So
Right. Alrighty. Well, folks, that wraps up episode 164 of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. What a fantastic episode it was. It was great to come back. We were live 2 weeks ago, right, Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh my God. My stream live. Okay. T-Bone
that was your
Zone.
last stream was the podcast 2 weeks ago.
It was, yeah. I have been fucked up. I don't know if I told you this, Jimmy, but I quit caffeine earlier this week at cold turkey.
You're an idiot.
I am I am 10% of a human. I don't know if anybody here has tried quitting caffeine before.
No.
Your body shuts down physically
never.
and mentally. It's
No.
awful. It is fucking awful. I'm going to feel great in a couple weeks.
You probably will, but I'm a teacher, god dang it, and I know my students appreciate the fact that I drink coffee in the morning because I drink a full cup of coffee or two. If it's like Wednesday, Thursday, I'm probably on 2 cups.
Sure.
You know? But I drink a full cup of black coffee, and that makes me alert and happy to be there and just good. And I'm pretty sure my students, they don't like to see me without coffee.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't want to see that side.
Yeah, I was an irritable, tired, sloppy son of a bitch this entire week. I was useless.
Yeah.
Absolutely useless. But anyways, T-Bone Zone subbed and literally broke the webpage that was hosting my Streamlabs recent events. It says, this page is having a problem. Try coming back to it later. He literally broke my computer. I'm going to sue him.
Good job, T-Tone.
All right. Anyways, fantastic episode. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. Awesome to see people in chat. Thank you for the questions, for the Q&A at the end. Charmed, if you would be so kind as to sell yourself long, not short, please just say what you got going on throughout any social media.
You better, if you sell yourself good, I might be buying.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you want to check out my content, you can find me CharmedBaryon on Twitch, Charmed_Baryon on Twitter. I think I'm CharmedBaryon on YouTube, although I don't really do much on YouTube these days. But I think coming soon we'll be producing some content around some of the Skyrim mods that I've been building, and what that's going to be providing. If you're into Skyrim, then be sure to check out my Discord as well. I don't know the link off the top of my head, but just go to my channel, type !Discord, because alpha versions of the stuff that I am working on for Skyrim, if you want to try it out, if you're a Skyrim modder and you want to see what's happening, or if you just want to look at screenshots or things like that of stuff that could be coming in the future, it's a great resource if you're into Skyrim content. And we'd love to have you.
Hell yeah, man. I can personally vouch. I having had the pleasure of being rated by you a while back and telling knackers about your existence. I feel like, I'm glad that I was able to introduce your content to my buddy Knackers here. I really am.
No,
by the way,
my channel really enjoys your stuff too. So I send them to you guys from time to time, and they always tell me it's top notch.
No, you gotta. I think that's one of the reasons I liked you so much, because your channel reminds me of some of the same stuff I do. So it's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's the same thing I thought when I saw yours.
So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jimbles, aka MiddleAgedStream. You can find me on twitch.tv/MiddleAgedStream. I do a lot of retro and variety. I'm trying to finish up Dark Souls 3, but I will also be starting Dead Space 2, possibly even the first stream of that later this week, depending on how Dark Souls goes the next 2 streams. And then, of course, Knackers and I will be doing our first part of our multi-part series that we won't know when we're doing the second part yet. Mario 3D World this Saturday night coming up. Will be on my channel. Knackers will be a guest on my channel, and we will be playing a fun-ass game. I think. I get to be the kitty cat.
I'm so excited.
It'll be fun. We haven't played a game together in like 2 years on stream. Super Mario World was 2 years ago.
Have you forgotten our pummel party tirades already?
You know what I meant. Just you and me.
Okay, that's fair. That's
all I meant.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Knackers. You guys can find me on this very channel. As you guys know, I don't do any video game content anymore. I specifically focus on hardware, software, and just tech in general when in regards to the streaming space. So if you guys enjoy talking and learning about tech and audio and video, this is the channel to do it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Awesome podcast, Charmed. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
The only downside to us planning this so far in advance, it was like, man, it's like 2 months before we get to have this dude on the podcast.
I've been excited about this guest spot for a long time.
Me too.
Honestly,
Me too.
I know that you're a cool dude, a smart dude, and it was cool to pick your brain for a little while, man.
I had a blast. If you ever want me on again, feel free to just shoot me an email.
Might be a different podcast name at that point.
You never know.
It's like your first time all over again.
Just knowing I have to do that is like stressing me out. I fuck, man. Naming things is the worst. I hate naming things. Oh my God. All right. Everybody have a fantastic night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you. I don't know. 2 weeks. So we're thinking about
Probably
2 weeks. There might
Probably
be
2
something
weeks.
next week. I don't know. I'm
Maybe.
waiting for a guest to get back to me. We'll see. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Goodbye.
Bye.